Hey, men in the world of today have become feminized, less ambitious, as well as physically and mentally weak. If you're a young man and you want to learn anything about masculinity, fitness, and you're just a boy and you're just directionless in life, then this is the video for you. I will be explaining the top 4 things that you can do right now to start improving as a man. Number 1, the first thing that one can do to improve as a man is journaling. More specifically, gratitude journaling, as gratitude is the scientific version of happiness. This is a habit that I've set on myself that I've been doing for almost a year now, and ever since I started doing this, it has changed the perspective of how I view things in life, and it has honestly made me a lot happier ever since. It might sound a bit simple and not really too scientific or anything, or it might sound like insignificant at first. However, just think about it. The reason why people are not very grateful, the reason they're not very happy, is because they have no gratitude for what they do have. They see things in the most negative way possible. Instead of saying, for example, oh, I'm in this bad situation, I'm so unlucky, think of it in the other way around. There's people which are in worse situations. Oh, I just lost my job. Well, someone out there just lost their leg, or their mom, or their grandma, or an important family member. Always see yourself as if you're in a better position than somebody else, and be grateful for that. And honestly, the best way that you can do this is by simply grabbing a journal and every single day writing a few things that you're grateful for. For example, I would always recommend that you always grateful for the small things, as if you're grateful for the small things, you'll automatically be grateful for the bigger things. Because anyone can be like, oh, I'm grateful for my family, or I'm grateful for my mom, my dad, my brothers, my siblings. However, I would recommend that you write things down that are smaller, as for example, you could be like, I'm grateful for water, or I'm grateful for this chair, or I'm grateful for light. I'm grateful for the people who put the hard work to invent this light, and for me to be able to walk in a room and just turn on a switch, and I'll be able to see. I didn't have to put the work in for that, and I'm grateful for that. All these things summed up, especially if you write them down, I really recommend that you do this on paper, on journal, since doing these things on the regular will literally make your mind believe that you're always in an amazing position. And I'm not even gonna lie, you will feel a lot happier, a lot more content at the end of the day, especially if you do this in the very early in the morning and you start telling yourself, I'm happy, this is an amazing day, I'm so grateful for this is gonna be great, I'm going to do so well today, I'm going to put in the hard work, and I'm grateful for that. Like, just think about it. Think about it in this way. Someone who was born into richness, a kid that has never had to struggle, he's not really grateful for anything, because he never had to put in the hard work. He doesn't have a harder time to compare the time that he has right now to. For example, let's say you've been through a lot of suffering. You've been through a lot of physical as well as mental suffering. The moment that you have right now, for example, right here, the room that I am right now, I am very grateful for this, because I've been in a worse situation, and I am able to appreciate this moment a lot better than someone who's just born into richness. For example, most people, if you ask them what is so great about being rich, it's not really about the money. It's more about comparing to who you were and where you were before. And that is what gives you that gratitude and that happiness from inside. Second thing is reading. Reading is one of the things that too many people have the wrong perception of, as ever since we were kids, we were basically all taught and all learned to hate reading. But this is simply because we all have the wrong perception of this. And it is kind of funny, because it's like reading is like one of those things that whenever you're told to do something, you hate it unless you do it voluntarily. And what that means is that when you're told to do something, no matter whatever it is, if it's working out or having to do your job or whatever, you hate it. However, if you do it voluntarily, it's like a completely different experience. And that's the reason why most people hate reading. Like right now, you're probably saying, oh, books, I hate books, it's boring or whatever. I have that same mentality. I am a high school student, and pretty much everyone, maybe if you're a college student, you probably have that same mentality yourself right now. However, trust me, you have the wrong perception of this, and too many people have that ignorant thought in their head always that books don't necessarily have to be about something academic. They can literally be about anything. Any problem that you've ever had, any issue, whatever. Anything you need advice for. There's books about fitness. Have you ever read a book about fitness, about cooking, about being a better parent, being a better brother, being happier, how to not be depressed? There's books about anything. And I feel like too many people overlook this because of the bad perception that we got from school and the education system. However, books don't necessarily have to be about this. There's books about anything, and I feel like too many people overlook this, and we completely miss the amount of knowledge and answers that there is hidden in these books. Like, just think about it. The situation that you are in right now, most likely someone has been in that situation. You're not the first person to go to college, or you're not the first person to be a parent. So why not learn from their mistakes? And you will very likely skip a year, years, maybe 10 years, months, even if it's days of trial and error, because you're gonna learn from the mistakes. You're gonna read their biographies. There's literally books about anything. Fitness, building muscle, whatever you want. If it's about fitness or cooking or going to school or being happier or even gratitude, I'm pretty sure there's even books about reading books, about being a better reader. Trust me, there's always books. As long as you get a book that you voluntarily want to read, trust me, I always had the bad perception that, oh my god, books, whatever. But the first time that I actually bought a book and I got it, it's like I literally look at it now. I literally look at these books that I've bought, and they're like trophy. I literally take them whenever I go out. I literally take them with me to read along the way or whatever. Because it is truly a different experience buying a book voluntarily than being forced to read it. Like we were always forced ever since we were young. But yes, overall, ever since I started reading, I realized how many answers we have available to us right in books. All we have to do is buy them and read them. And it really just makes me think about how much potential is wasted inside of this. Like how much knowledge. Because once you actually read a book that you genuinely want to learn about a topic, you literally read it and you'll be surprised on how relatable it is and how enjoyable reading a book that you actually want to read is, rather than being forced, like I just said. Not only this, but how many issues you could save yourself, like learning how to make money. You could even learn how to become a millionaire if you have an issue about weight loss or money or managing your time. There's literally books about anything. Number 3, meditation. Meditation is something that this world desperately needs, as meditation is the practice of being present in the moment. Just like that. And the reason I say this is because by the day, the overstimulating content that we consume day by day on TikTok, on Instagram, on any social media shortens our attention span, and this is not a good thing. Too many people are just overindulging in their instant gratification every single day. They're just becoming more and more NPCs by always just scrolling on social media, trying to get their little dopamine every single day, every single 10 to 20 minutes. And the worst thing about this is that by doing this, you're literally training your brain. Our brains have literally been trained to have short attention spans, because whenever you're just scrolling on 3-second videos, that is your attention span shortening and shortening and shortening by the second. Yes, it might sound pretty ridiculous and pretty easy to look over, and you probably heard of people meditating and you're like, oh no, I don't have that issue, or I don't want this. But trust me, a lot of people, it is very easy to look over something and think that you don't have the issue. But just let me ask you this. Do you overthink a lot? Do you ever find yourself spending too much time in your head even when you're around people? Due to a lack of your brain always consistently craving dopamine, quick dopamine from social media, any social media of today, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. And the way that you can start improving your presentfulness, your consciousness, is by simply downloading any meditation app like Medito, which is what I use. And you can literally just do it 3 minutes a day. Just give it a shot. Not only this, but you can consistently, and I encourage you to really try and be presentful, and not only while you're meditating, but meditate, but also try and do it in social situations. Don't just be in the situation and think. Literally use your 5 senses. Hear whatever you can hear, anything, the wind, whatever someone's saying. Breathe, feel your lungs expand, see everything around you, be in the present moment, because this is something that too many people lack nowadays. And number 4, finally, of course, working out / strength training, with the intention of obviously building an aesthetic physique which you are proud of. Too many people nowadays have the perception that building an aesthetic body, or a body that you definitely genuinely like, is vague, or it's a bad thing because you're just thinking about looks or whatever. But a beautiful body, especially in a man, is more than just this. A beautiful body reflects a man's work ethic. It reflects how much suffering he's been through and how much discipline that man has as a whole. It's not just something that he got out of nowhere, especially a man. No man has ever gone through puberty and came out to be this Greek god with huge amounts of muscle and low body fat. No man has ever done that. It is unheard of, which is why a beautiful, attractive V-taper in a man, which is what you should strive for when doing strength training, it is something greater than just something to admire. Of course, it is something to admire visually, but it is also a reflection of who that man is. And it really, trust me when I say this, that building an aesthetic body with the intention of building a V-taper, which makes you look so attractive, it builds an amazing sense of self-love, which eventually gives you confidence and makes you overall a happier human being. And to do this, you're obviously going to want to get the most amount of muscle mass on yourself with the least amount of body fat, while also prioritizing the muscle groups necessary to build that aesthetic V-taper. And if you want to learn all about how to do this, go ahead and check out my aesthetic body guide, no BS aesthetic body guide. And also check out the 8 free workout routines which I made, which you can check out in the link in the description below. And yeah, if you want to learn everything about that, I'm not going to explain everything about strength training and building an aesthetic body here, but you can check that out in my no BS guide. And you can also get your 8 free workout routines sent straight to your phone. You can just check that out in the description below. And yeah, just share this video with a friend who needs it. Make sure to subscribe if you want to learn about anything related to masculinity, self-improvement, becoming that strong man you have always wanted to be. And yeah, do it for your future self.